right now is the absolute perfect time to get outside and take advantage of West Bloomfield's 12 parks and over 500 acres of land. And the person whose job it is to make sure everything is in tip-top shape for your enjoyment is the newly promoted Park Superintendent, Frey. Thank you so much. Hey, Mr. Recreation, how are you today?
Wow, world travels fast. Good. How are you? Good to see you again.
I think you need a shirt that says
Right.
Mr. Recreation.
Yeah, I wear a lot of shirts and hats around here, so but everybody does. It's a huge team effort to keep this place going. So,
And can we talk about that too? Because it's so big. There's so much to do,
Yes.
especially like going into the summer months. We know the parks are beautiful in the winter as well. Sledding is awesome. You are never too old to go sledding, by the way. But really, summer is your prime time. What does it take to keep the parks up in the summertime?
a lot of time, a lot of effort. There never seems to be enough time in the day, or days in the week. We have 8, 9 full-time park staff that do nothing but park work all day, every day. Currently we have around 10 or 11 summer seasonal staff, and that from college folks all the way up to retired folks, doing park maintenance, doing ball field preparations, soccer field preparations, getting cricket fields ready to go. We're mowing, we're cleaning restrooms, we're setting up shelters for parties and things like that on weekends. We're helping the rec staff do special events like the one you just mentioned a couple minutes ago this weekend, National Trails Day. So we have some trail stuff going this weekend. So we are here basically from 6. Some of us get here at 6 o'clock in the morning, and we don't leave till 11 o'clock at night, 7 days a week.
Okay, we need to talk about that. We need to get you some time off. But can I ask you, how are you guys doing on staffing right now? Everyone is struggling. Are you okay in that area?
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely struggling. But we're doing okay. We have, like I said, we have about 10 or 11 right now. We're getting by. When we have somebody off or on vacation, we just kind of shuffle and redo what, every single morning or evening, the night before the next day or that next day, we come up with a plan. And hopefully that's still stuck on the board at 7 o'clock in the morning when everybody comes in. If it doesn't, we regroup and do it something different. But for the most part, we're doing pretty good. We can always use an extra body or two, not only out in the parks, but in our camps program. We're still looking for some camp counselors and some help there. I think our splash pad's doing pretty good, but they might be able to use 1 or 2 more. But it's always up on our website. All of our job opportunities and our help wanted stuff is on our website.
I know I live alongside the West Bloomfield Trail, and when you come in, there's the big sign, hiring. Because I'm like, if I was a teenager, what a cool first job, right? Like, I'll take working outside rather than being sitting in an office somewhere.
Sure. Yeah. When people come to us for the first time, they have no idea what we do. They just think that we get to walk around the park and fly kites and do stuff. But once they're here for their first week or two, they're like, man, I didn't know all this stuff took place. And it's a lot to keep it all going.
And, it's got to be hard to trying to keep ahead of Mother Nature, especially when we get a lot of rain and then you get the grass grows so quickly. But you know what? I'm going to nominate you guys to take part in No Mow May, because my husband was so down with that this year. He was like, yes, No Mow May. I think you guys should say, hey, we're not going to be mowing the parks in May.
Yeah, well, we over the years, we've cut back on mowing. We've tried to make more natural areas for natives to grow. And I heard you mention the native plant sale. We just had one ourselves last week. So we are definitely trying to be green and greener every day. We have electric mowers. We have electric equipment that we use. But like I said, over the past few years, we have reduced our amount of mowing and watering to try to be a little bit greener. So we definitely try to mow less. We try to have like the sides of our trail network and some of our trails more natural, so we let them go a little bit longer. But then we start getting calls saying that did you forget about the trail? It seems long. And, we try to say, well, it's kind of a natural trail, and we kind of wanted a little bit more nature and a little bit more natural. So we don't mow it every week. We don't want it to look like this manicured thing. We want it to look like more of a nature trail. So there is some of our sports complex that we have to mow. They're playing soccer and like I said, cricket and softball and stuff out there. So we have to keep those mowed nice. But we are definitely trying to scale back mowing as much as we can, but still keep things groomed and cleaned and tidy and even mosquito free as much as we can.
Well, if you could figure that out, I would love to know your secret. I will say, as someone who lives on the trail, it's in my backyard. We appreciate that the grass is actually high because they cut down so many trees and you can see directly into our backyard, but that higher grass kind of gives us a shield. So as someone who's saying, you're doing a good job, keep it up. We'll take the high grass. Hey, Chris, Can I ask you, what are the park hours for people?
So park hours are 8 to sunset. So 8 in the morning till sunset. Obviously that kind of varies throughout the year. So, you can go on your phone. I know every day I pretty much look at a weather app probably 10 times a day, and right on my Weather Channel app, it has a sunset time. So that's a good thing to go by. But we don't all of a sudden just lock gates and throw up red flares at sunset. We kind of wait till duskish. Usually at sunset, our afternoon night guys know when that is. We'll kind of start patrolling some of the parks and just reminding people, hey folks, about 15, 20 minutes, it's going to start getting dark out, and we just, pack up your last things and tidy up your picnics, and we got to start heading out. And so we'll slowly kind of get people out like that. But 8 to sunset is our park hours, 7 days a week.
I know it is crazy right now because I think it was 9 o'clock last night. I'm like, oh my God, the sun's still up, right? And we're just into June. Pretty soon it'll be 10. Hey, do you want to kind of give us an update as to what's happening over at Drake?
Sure. We've the last 2 years we've been doing a 3-year project. This is the 3rd year of our parking lot renovation project. So this is the last year, and unfortunately this was the toughest year because we had to close the park. We closed it back on May 12th. It was the last section. It was the entrance to the park and the main driveway. So we knew this was going to be a toughie, but they're moving right along. They've had a couple of weather days in there, but they're moving right along. We're hoping to have this thing back open. We're hoping around the 10th, 11th, 12th-ish, something like that, the first week or two of June. And again, every day that moves a little bit with weather. Like yesterday afternoon, they had some weather come through, so it slowed them down a little bit. But they're bright and early again this morning. But it's our last phase. It's our most our impactful phase because, like I said, we had to close the park, but we're moving right along. Everything should be nice and new and fresh when they're done, and we are trying to get that place open as quickly as we can.
So you're kind of like the construction. It's so painful to go through, but once it's done.
Yes, once it's done. The first and second phase were to the west and to the north, and we could keep the park open and kind of work around. But like I said, they had to pull the whole entrance out and reshape it and repave, and we just couldn't. There's only one way in and one way out of the park, and it was just too narrow to try to do 2 lanes of traffic on one side. So we just the contractor said it's going to be faster. Believe it or not, it's going to be faster if we just shut this place down and let us in, let us out, and we'll get in and out as quick as we can. So we're halfway through this last phase, and we have meetings weekly, and we're on them. Get this done. People want to get back in, and pickleball and tennis and skate park and fields and soccer and cricket and all kinds of stuff. So we're busting at the seams. We tried to move all that stuff as much as we could to other park facilities that we had that same amenities at, but we just really want to get it back open for everybody to use.
You bring up such good points too. It's better to go through the pain for a shorter term than to have it drag on.
Right. Hey,
pickleball. I went last night to Sylvan Lake. They had a pickleball clinic. We had them on the show yesterday. I had never seen it before. Do you play pickleball?
I don't play. We installed our first pickleball courts down at Drake Sports Park probably 5 years ago now, and it has been crazy busy. Nonstop down there. At any point of the park, I never knew how loud it was until I heard it in the park. At any point in that park, you can just hear nonstop clunk, 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 and they're just going. They're there at 8 o'clock in the morning, and they're there until they can't see anymore. It seems like 7 days a week. We have lots of classes in our Summer Pathways magazine. You can look for classes and how to learn how to play and different rank or different levels of play. So we offer that kind of stuff. Plus, there's obviously open play. We do have 2 pickleball courts, the lines painted on tennis courts at Keith Sports Park, so one of the parks that are in the north section of the township. So we did that last year, and we're going to continue to keep those lines there so that we can kind of spread people out, and some of the people that are up north, they have another place to go as well. So we have pickleball at Drake and Keith, but yes, it's busy and it's taken over relatively quickly.
I feel like I'm late to the pickleball craze. Really, it's kind of a craze right now. You just have 5 years. I'm like, why am I just hearing about pickleball? I don't know. I'm like, I want to go dressed as a pickle though.
It's been around, but it's very popular.
Well, Chris, we so appreciate what you and your entire team does to help us enjoy the parks, because I think that's the gem of our entire area. You guys do an amazing job. So thank you so much, and please extend our gratitude to you and your team as well.
Will do.
You know, and let them, hey, kids, get out there, get a summer job, go work for the Parks Department.
Exactly.
Hey, I'm looking forward to it. I'm signed up for the beat class this weekend. Is it this weekend or next weekend? So.
Okay, we'll see you out there.
Thanks again. We appreciate your time.
No problem. Thank you for having me.